know. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. There's a Soul Stealer pick in the game, and I am loving every second of it. So Prisoner and Soul Stealer going down into the bottom lane together. Glacius and Moira both ported into the bottom lane to try and get some ideal ward positions before either team shows up by walking into the lane. But man, okay, we've got a Midas mid versus, look at this. This is a Rift Walker mid, so I kind of suspected that this was going to be a Rift mid. Or at least anticipated it because it's a possibility. And this is a second support Prisoner, which I really kind of like a second support Prisoner. This hero has a lot of utility in its spell bank. One of them being that it's just a really strong potential counter to Shrunken Head. Just being able to apply the Prison Break with just a Portal Key, say, after a Shrunken Head activation. So really, really big fan of the way that they're running this Prisoner on top of the Glacius. Glacius and Soul Stealer, nice little hero combo as well. And it is going to be try versus try here on the bottom lane. Magnus, Moira, and Valkyrie. I think the innate advantage looks like it probably goes to Hellborn's try lane, as they do have the triple stun, but you know, you always have to respect the possibility of getting hooked out of position by a hero like Prisoner, especially that he can hook not just one, but and potentially all 5 heroes, right? But of course, only 3 are here in the bottom lane, and they are going to see this tri lane with their ward. It is going to be Lodestone versus Electrician in the top lane, Midas versus Riftwalker in the mid. Magnus going to get pulled into the tower already, finds a 2-man Lava Surge. Already taking a little bit of damage, more than he wanted to. So Prisoner finding a nice little hook, saying, hey, hooks are here, baby. You better watch out. He is going forward, trying to secure as much farm for his Soul Stealer. And there's the hook onto Moira, who gets hooked into the trees. The Shards of Harkon are going to connect. Valkyrie Arrow is going to connect as well, but the Ice Imprisonment stops the follow-up of Magnus. And there's just a lot of poke damage coming out from both sides here. And gosh, you know, I just love Prisoner here in this tri lane as the second support. Just this mana battery, you know, Prisoner has a hard time with mana sustain, but you know, being in a tri lane where spells are getting slung around every which way, mana battery is just enough to keep him topped up on his mana bar so that he can always cast a hook, it seems. And he is 2 for 2 right now, so I gotta just keep my eyes peeled on this bottom lane and hopefully able to keep an awareness of mid and top as well. Looks like he's thinking about it. I mean, I'm sure. Yep, there it is. There's 3 for 3. Valkyrie with no leap available. There's the shackle as well. Able to get the distance, and now it's Prisoner, who was surrounded by Magnus and Moira, but boy, Valkyrie just had to be so scared. Does manage to get the leap now. Prisoner with enough mana to hook again. Can he keep up this hook accuracy? This is crazy. Magnus finds a Merrick's Rune in the bottom lane. Try for try. Doing really, really well here. There's the hook onto Magnus into the Ice Imprisonment. Do they have the damage to find the final Demon Hand? No, it's just an auto attack, and there's the Bloodlust for Puppet Soul as he's dumping in the auto attacks into Valkyrie, who does have the leap available. Probably not going to fall prey to it. There's the hook attempt, but the Shards of Harkon are going to stop the advance of Soul Stealer. Sidesteps the arrow. The Tundra Blast putting a lot of damage and slow onto Valkyrie Moira, and that is a very, very secure Bloodlust kill. See if they can keep up that success here in the bottom lane. I mean, a Soul Stealer tri-lane, like kind of the last thing that you expect to be winning against a tri-stun, but gosh, you got to hand it to Sunk Bob here on a stun, or hook hero rather. But there is the stun combo coming out on Soul Stealer, and he is going to fall inside of the combo, not able to activate the Golden Apple. And now Sunk Bob actually in a lot of trouble. Stun combo is coming out from Magnus. There is no arrow follow-up, but auto attacks are just coming out. Midas taking a lot of damage here in the mid lane as well, but able to regen back up, had that regen bottled, so maybe a bit of a calculated take. But gosh, Valkyrie just gets hooked again by Prisoner. You can't... Man, this guy just makes hooks happen. You can see why they're banning Devo. Ban Devo, now I got Prisoner on my plate, is what he tells him. He is just making it happen for this bottom lane, and I love every second of it. We 400 GPM start for Soulstealer. Doing really, really well. And he's got the supports here in his pocket in the bottom lane to transition potentially into stacking for him. And checking out the creep score of some of these other side lanes, actually, we see Electrician's got 28-1 versus the 22-4 of Lodestone. So Electrician and Lodestone pretty even. Maybe Electrician slight advantage gold-wise. Doing extremely well. And that's actually what you want to see from an Electrician. Prisoner gets the shackle onto Magnus into the Ice Imprisonment, but there is no... Yes, Soulstealer is going to manage to find that last hit. Now it's Valkyrie who puts out a Valkyrie's call, but she actually gets pulled back in the midst of her leap. So is the damage going to come out? The Ice Imprisonment does connect. Soulstealer running for his life, gets blocked by the Moira Illusion. Midas is here on his tail. Will he be able to sidestep the Midas combo? The Shards of Harkon are going to connect onto Glacius. There's the full combo. The hook is going to miss. But it's 3 kills for Soulstealer with a fantastic start. Lodestone taking a lot of pressure from Electrician here. Going to be forced to retreat. What a bot lane.
You cannot escape justice.
And now it's Magnus who has to be careful. Sidesteps coming out. Has the Lava Surge available. The Shards of Harkon are going to connect. He decides to stun into Glacius very aggressively. They're still in pursuit of him. The ball and chain is up in 2 seconds. Is it going to connect? Just barely able to sidestep it. Valkyrie. If we compare the stats of the Valkyrie to Soulstealer, I mean, pretty comparable, but Soulstealer's just got the kills. I mean, honestly, look at that GPM difference between these core farmers. Valkyrie with the 200 GPM versus the 360 of Soulstealer. Obviously, Soulstealer's going to be able to transition into one heck of a flash farmer as soon as he hits level 5 and definitely level 7. No stacks ready for him. I would like to see some stacks prepared for him once he hits level 5. I mean, he can take out a triple stack pretty handily, but they are kind of dominating this bottom lane, so deciding to just keep it here in the lane right now. The Lava Surge is going to connect onto Prisoner, into the Valkyrie, into the arrow. Prisoner taking a lot of damage here, but here comes the ball and chain, finishing off Moira, and he's actually able to walk away from Valkyrie's auto attacks. Valkyrie gets caught by the Ice Imprisonment in that little pond over there in the corner, and it is a 2-for-0 swing here in the tri-lane. So once again, in meantime, Lodestone finding a kill together with Riftwalker, using the Shatterstorm and Wormhole, no doubt, to get a very important kill on Electrician, who was having a little bit too good of a time there in his 1v1 versus Lode. So now Lodestone suddenly with the GPM advantage over Electrician, who was very, very close to him entering, no doubt, prior to that death. Riftwalker and Lodestone, both level 8. Midas, 350 GPM, having a little bit of a better time than Riftwalker. Let's see if Midas can catch himself a rune. Kind of turn things around for his team. His team isn't out of it yet. It's an illusion rune. It's actually a wonderful rune on Midas with the cooldown reduction. He actually is going to take it back to the base. Shards of Harkon are going to connect onto Prisoner. Lava Surge. Magnus is trying to decide where to place it. Finds the 2-man onto Glacius and Soulstealer. Soulstealer taking a lot of damage, but he's actually able to stay alive on top of that Riftwalker combo. So it's Magnus and Valkyrie who again fall in this bottom lane. Well, Soulstealer just having the time of his life. Now a 5-1 score. 400 GPM. Lead really starting to surmount here for Donava Brigada. Looking like they're going to be able to make this second match happen in their favor as long as things keep going this way. But Midas is here with the Illusion Rune, ready to go. But there's Ice Imprisonment. It's going to catch out Magnus before he's able to get anything off. But Midas dumps the combo onto Prisoner, and Moira forced to back away. But Midas is not done yet. He's got the low cooldowns from the Illusion Rune active. He wants more. He is going in. He has to be careful, though, because his Ice Imprisonment is going to be able to catch him. He's actually going to be able to break the trees around Glacius and finish him off with the combo. And now Soul Stealer has to be careful. Gets caught by, but there's the wormhole. Riftwalker is here, but the explosions come out. It's a hat trick for Midas underneath the tower. He is going to pay with his life, but stopping the momentum of that Soul Stealer, very key, and finding a hat trick himself. Very masterfully done by Pops, as I like to call him, on Midas. So, after all is said and done, I'm not exactly sure what the kill count looked like on either side, but it was one hell of an engagement. Glacius smoking behind Valkyrie here in the mid lane. Looking to go towards this top rune, perhaps. Uh-oh, Lodestone gonna get scouted out by this arrow. Takes that 5-second arrow. Valkyrie still needs to be careful. The leap is ready. He leaps over the cliff, and now Moira is gonna get revealed out of her smoking. Here comes the Valkyrie's Prism, using it a little bit defensively as he's kind of in no man's land, but Midas finding the combo onto Glacius, dealing a shite ton. I just want to say shit ton of his HP all in one blow. Midas gets pulled out by the prison break, but Prisoner not able to put the finishing touches. Actually, Soul Stealer dies once again to Midas. So Soul Stealer getting slowed down a lot here in recent times throughout the course of this game, finding 2 deaths in quick succession, pushing him down below 400 GPM, or Midas is at 400. Quick Lava Surge is going to find his way onto Prisoner. The wormhole is going to connect onto 3. It's an explosive wormhole, just destroying the Hellborn team. Electrician, very quick to fall, is actually pumping the shield, but the Demon Hand is going to end up finishing him off. My goodness, that was a beautiful wormhole from Hunter there on Riftwalker. So Soul Stealer once again at 400 GPM. Moira and Valkyrie looking like they want to try and make an attempt on Soul Stealer as he's underneath the ward here, and he's getting flanked by Moira and Soul Stealer. Here comes the Shards of Harkon. They are going to connect. The Valkyrie Javelin is going in, but here's Sunk Bob with the prison break. 2-man. Huge pull in into the double Demon Hand for the double kill, but Soul Stealer does fall in the end. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we had trades between Riftwalker and Midas going 1-for-1 there in some fashion or another, but that was a fantastic Prisoner combo, helping extend the life of Soul Stealer so that he could manage to actually finish both of those heroes off that were pursuing him so heavily. So props to Sunk Bob. I mean, honestly, votes for MVP in the chat. Mine is Sunk Bob on Prisoner 945 all the way, at least with the way that this game has gone so far. Haven't even had time to check out any of the item purchases. We actually have 2,300 gold saved up on Soul Stealer. Very curious to see what items he's going to decide to pick up. Actually, looks like he's rushing a Shrunken Head. Picks up a Warhammer as his go-to first pickup. So very interesting. There is a shit ton of magic damage and disables in the form of magic abilities. So it does make sense. Riftwalker has post-haste coming out to her. She actually is very, very low from that soul trap, but will not end up falling. Meanwhile, Magnus, something happening in the mid lane where he's able to walk away with very, very little HP. Looks like Lodestone and Glacius had to go on him. but he is able to walk away. In the meantime, Electrician finds that top tier 2, tier 1 tower, pushing it, cutting the creeps from behind. He has completed Mana Boots, making progress towards the Gnome's Wisdom. And looks like we've got Spell Shards. Wow, a nice hook attempt from Sunk Bob. I don't even know how he knew. Maybe he walked over that Rev Ward? That was crazy. Just the intuition on this guy. Spell Shards 1 completed on Midas. The Lodestone has a portal key now. Has had it for a little bit, but just wasn't able to comment on it. Honestly, things are coming together for both sides of this game. And Glacius activating a smoke, but it gets canceled instantly by Moira. Ice Imprisonment comes out on Moira to stop the Shards of Harkon. Prisoner ends up dying very quickly to Midas and Magmus. In the meanwhile, Moira falls to Lodestone. So it is kind of support for support there. All the while, Soulstealer farming in the top lane. Trying to use the space to farm quickly with his demon hands. Looks like he picked up a Mighty Blast. I actually think he has the completed Shrunken Head coming out to him right now. So that is very fortunate for him that he will have that ability available to him. Looks like they are going to be taking the bottom tower. Tier 1 tower is going to fall. The fortification is used, but it's not going to be saved. Moira defending the top lane. Spell Shards 2 making their way towards Midas. A Glowstone was picked up by Electrician, so Electrician going the greedier route of the staff build this game, opting not to play aggressive with the portal key, deciding the ideal situation is to farm out against the Soulstealer. So Soulstealer is actually doing pretty well here at 480 GPM, but didn't go a very heavy farming oriented build, right? Rushing into the Shrunken Head to play defensively. So still not going to be able to have an explosion of GPM in his pocket so that he can really just get out of control. Electrician actually going to go try and farm some creeps here, but gets spotted out by Soulstealer and Prisoner. Here comes the hook attempt. Is it actually going to connect? It is! My goodness! Wow! Electrician gets his life saved for at least a while by Moira in the Hurricane Vortex, but here comes the Wormhole finishing off Electrician. That was a fantastic hook, and now the Shatterstorm is going to connect on the Magnus, but he's able to Lava Surge away. Valkyrie has an Invis rune active here in the bottom jungle, just walking towards the creep wave. Is he going to break it to farm, or is he's going to see Glacius countering this ward? He's actually going to put a nice little arrow out on him. Do they have the damage to drop him before Soulstealer gets there? Yes, they do, but now Moira is trying to counter the ward, and actually Valkyrie and Moira looks like they're going to fall. But Midas is here. Is Midas going to be able to put out a combo to save Valkyrie's life? No, that everybody sidesteps it, at least be able to avoid the stun. Valkyrie falls to Lodestone, but here's Magmus looking like he wants to. Uh-oh, the Soul Burst with the Shrunken Head. There it is, baby. And now Midas has to walk away during the Shrunken Head duration, and the Shackle is going to prevent him from being an Elemental Ward, but there's a lot of damage coming out on Prisoner and Lodestone, who are just able to barely walk away with no HP. Electrician pushing forward with the Cleansing Shot. Sometimes no Fireblade just doesn't fit that style for this hero, but it could be a good option, especially if a Staff of the Master finds its way into the hands of Electrician, because you're going to have to burn through that mana bar of Electrician in order to deal with him sufficiently, because he's going to have that perma shield. So we'll see exactly if somebody's going to pick that up, but really hope that Staff of the Master does find its way into the hands of Electrician. It will certainly be a boon for his team. But meanwhile, in the top lane, we've got a smoked Magmus. Going to see this Riftwalker kind of walking towards Valkyrie. Soulstealer diligently farming here in the Legion jungle, making progress towards his next item. There's a portal key picked up on a Riftwalker. Portal key, a very interesting. Okay, Lodestone got spotted out by that Ward of Sight, and they are swarming him, just looking, where did he go? They are checking. Just checking the wrong tree spots. What you got? Uh-oh. What you got is going to spot it. The Wormhole actually connects onto Valkyrie, but it's going to be disjointed. or the coordination will be disjoint because in the meantime, Lodestone actually did get discovered in his hiding spot. And he is going to be the one to fall to the Valkyrie. So Electrician smoking here towards the Legion Ancients, actually smoking around to Rift. But I was going to comment on the Riftwalker Portal Key. It's actually a very interesting item pickup. It's not something that you would necessarily normally expect on the hero. I think it just allows her to play at a lot more of a risky position and just flash farm a little bit more safely. Obviously, just position herself a little bit better for wormholes, not have to play so risky, like, you know, finding little tight spots in the trees to, you know, get the ideal wormhole within range. So I think it's a great item pickup, and curious to see what she's going to go for next. Maybe it'll be a spell shards or something bigger, but Magnus is actually going to get gone on, able to Lava Surge away temporarily, but Moira takes the Ice Imprisonment, but it is Glacius who's going to fall first, and it is a support for support. Little Buck finding its way into the pockets of both teams there. But Shatterstorm activated. Lodestone is going to find it. Oh, and a beautiful Lava Surge is going to stop the advance, but Midas is still going to end up falling, and the Javelin is going to connect onto Lodestone from a very far away place from Valkyrie, but beautiful little pickoff on a high-value target of Midas. It's now a 550 GPM Soulstealer who has a portal key in his pocket at the moment. And they are looking to advance on Electrician, I suppose, or just at least invade the jungle. Electrician got to be close to finishing the Staff of the Master. He's got 900 gold presently. Looking like he might want to go for Riftwalker here. Uh-oh, Magnus is here. Magnus about halfway to a portal key. This is where that portal key is going to come in handy for Riftwalker. 4 heroes in the Hellborn jungle on the for the Legion. And 1600 gold once again saved up on Soulstealer, so another item decision quickly brewing for Soulstealer. Mighty Blade makes his way into the inventory of Electrician. I'm surprised seems like he's pretty far away from his staff. I'm not sure if he needs 1 or 2 pieces, but man, oh man, this Valkyrie's Prism is going to show up. This gank attempt from the Legion side, and now Electrician and Magnus are in the front lines. It's a beautiful 2-man stun to start things off. Electrician really stopping the advance. Here comes the Eruption. It's going to find its way onto Prisoner 945, who gets the prison break, and here's the wormhole. It's going to connect onto Electrician, but not the target that you want to be using that ability on. Moira uses a wonderful 3-man hook, but at the cost of what? I mean, Suckbob able to juke in the trees here and live for a little bit. Soulstealer putting auto attacks. Here's the Soul Burst, finishing off Electrician. Moira under fire as well. Probably, no, definitely going to be falling to the hands of Soulstealer. And it is a nice little exchange. 2 for 1, I believe, after all said and done. Actually, a little bit surprising after all things considered how many abilities were used in that team fight. But actually make that 3 for 1, as Lodestone is going to find a kill on what you got near the mid lane. Here comes Midas. The spell shards 3. Makes you kind of wonder if he really pumped his spell shards this game. I kind of wonder if you would have rathered, if a better decision would have been to go for a blink maybe after finishing spell shards 1. But regardless, that's not what happened here. And he can certainly make progress towards a portal key at this point, as he's just one hell of a flash farmer on that hero. Spell Shards 1 picked up by Riftwalker. Headdress picked up by Lodestone. Probably going to be pushing towards a Barrier Idol at some point. And 3/4 of the way done for Staff of the Master on Electrician. So trying to put the finishing touches on that item. Once he gets it, it is going to be a pretty big difference for him, as he will be able to just constantly farm these creep camps without actually having to spend copious amounts of mana by reactivating the shield over and over again, as well as having it always up inside of a stun lockdown. 3.5k gold saved up on Soulstealer, looking to go on Moira, but that was just an illusion. Now making an attempt at this tower at the bottom lane. The Valkyrie's Prism is activated, but Moira, Magnus, and Valkyrie better not get too eager. As okay, we have some port outs, so now it's a good time to potentially catch this lodestone. They are putting everything out on the lodestone. The javelin is going to miss. They're going to back away. Wise decision. Meanwhile, Electrician, 500 gold, 400 gold, decides to run away. Smelled a rat. Riftwalker is up here in top lane, post-hasting down into the bottom lane, and now, Magnus needs to watch out. Able to Lava Surge away, but the Shatterstorm not going to be able to connect. Riftwalker trying to put out the combo, but now here are the ports. The Arcane Vortex is going to slow things down. Electrician is here, doesn't have the Staff of the Master yet. Going to put the grip out on the Lodestone, but he's one hell of a tanky target. But damn, that's a lot of damage coming out from Midas, who, fuck the blink, decides to go for a Codex, baby. Synergizing pretty well with that Spell Shards 3 that he already has. And it's a kill onto Prisoner now. So a quick 2 for 0 in the hands of Busk no GG. Coming back, lessening the lead that Donava Brigada had as we enter kind of the late mid-game stage. Got that finished staff on Electrician. This is a big deal as we start to inch closer to late game, especially as Soulstealer is the lead, or the only core hero, right, with sustained damage on the Legion side. It's a pretty big deal. He actually finishes a Hellflower. That's a wonderful pickup, but unfortunately, it's not going to be able to stop Electrician from having that shield up. But it's still a nice little pickup in terms of just everything it provides for the hero and some additional lockdown. But yeah, I'm kind of worried if you're Donava Brigada at this point, because Soulstealer just doesn't scale in the way that some of these Hellborn heroes do. It's a quick kill onto Glacius. The Arcane Vortex is going to trap Soulstealer and Prisoner. Shrunken Head is activated. Here comes the Soul Burst. Nope, it's canceled. Midas deciding he needs to get out temporarily. Prisoner falls in the backline. Nice 2-man Lava Surge is going to find Riftwalker and Soulstealer. Soulstealer, no Shrunken Head anymore. Getting pursued very, very heavily. Able to blink away. Deciding to walk towards the top lane with Lodestone, who's actually putting a lot of pressure here onto the top tower, but Electrician is the one to pour it over. And our Lodestone and Soulstealer are going to decide to make a play here on Electrician. They actually could. Electrician has no idea this is taking place. There are no wards. He is almost certainly going to fall to the Soul Burst, but damn, he is so freaking tanky. Able to tank a Soul Burst to the face on top of a Shatterstorm is insane. Absolutely insane. The fact that he didn't just get deleted by those two abilities. But in the end, he is going to fall. So a very important return kill into the hands of the Legion side. Nullfire Blade. Nullfire 3 looks like it is in the hands of Valkyrie, who's kind of transitioning into the main auto attack carry as this game pushes closer to the 30-minute mark. But let us see what else is on the horizon here. Still no portal key available to Prisoner, as I know he wants one. There's a portal key on Glacius. That one actually snuck up on me. Midas stacking Codex levels. He's now up to Codex level 3, 600 magic damage. One heck of a burst combo. Valkyrie's Prism is activated. Smelling, trying to see if they can find anybody here. Soul Stealer is invis. They are going to spot out Moira. Moira is almost certainly going to fall very quickly. Gets hellflowered. But Prisoner falls first. The Shadow Storm connects onto Magnus. Magnus is going to fall. In the meanwhile, Riftwalker gets caught out by Electrician and Midas. So all is said and done. It's 2 for 2. And I think that Busk no GG. Looks like they got the better of it. Losing their Riftwalker, unfortunately. And Shrunken Head. Going to be worked towards by Electrician. He's got a Mighty Blade coming out to him, I think, or it's in his stash. Actually, it looks like he sold it back. Deciding he does need a Shrunken Head after all. Maybe we'll go towards some sort of utility item. Wouldn't mind seeing, ooh, I don't know. Let's just say Storm Spirit, perhaps? Who knows? There's a lot of items that this hero could make use of. I mean, definitely wouldn't mind seeing a Sheep Stick either, but I'm actually personally a fan of Storm Spirit on Electrician. I think it synergizes extremely well with the hero. And could do a lot of work, saving some of his teammates from just from a potential Shatterstorm combo, for example. But Valkyrie, in the meanwhile, while I'm speaking, getting pursued here by Lodestone and Riftwalker, and actually there is no dust, though there is a Rev Ward, so able to run away. And Electrician is here, puts the grip onto Riftwalker, gets canceled by the Rocket Drill, but there's the Cleansing Shock. Huge slow. Riftwalker is going to end up dying to Valkyrie. And, you know, if you're the Legion side, it's just so hard to put the finishing touches on this game, as, you know, Soul Stealer, as beefy as he is, 560 GPM. It's kind of the problem with this hero sometimes, where he's so, he is so spellcaster oriented that he actually has to hit his spells in an ideal manner in order to carry the game, and sometimes that can be very hard to carry out, especially because a lot of his gold value has been put into the portal key, the Shrunken Head, and those items are just so he can get a good ulti off. So if you don't land that ideal ulti from Soul Stealer, sometimes it's just it feels like he's not the carry that you want him to be, despite being actually very farmed. But okay. Everybody is behind Midas here in the top lane. Riftwalker stopping the creep wave. Wouldn't mind seeing something maybe like a Jade Spire on Riftwalker as well, to just make it a little bit easier for him to connect that combo of his, extend the cast range of his portal key, just give his team a little bit more high ground defense in a safer manner. But honestly, it seems like high ground defense is kind of still losing to the inevitable gold acquisition of this Tricore. Not necessarily Tricore, but, you know, Valkyrie, Electrician, and Midas are two fantastic flash farmers that scale pretty well. Magnus makes an escape here against the Hellflower of Soul Stealer. And actually Midas putting out a combo onto Soul Stealer, but wow, so much freaking damage from that Codex. There's the buyback from Soul Stealer. Here comes the eruption, going to be finishing off Prisoner. Valkyrie is going to get exploded by that Shatterstorm. Soul Stealer commits the buyback, but the Cleansing Shock is going to catch 3. The Soul Burst is actually not going to be... He's canceling it several times. He uses the Shrunken Head, but Electrician... Gosh, this hero is so freaking tanky with the Staff of the Master. Just able to tank the assault of 4 heroes and not fall. Here comes the stun combo onto Soul Stealer's life. The double stun, nope, it's just a single stun. Midas is going to fall very quickly. And now they're pursuing onto Magnus. Ice Imprisonment is going to lock him down. Will he be able to get the Lava Surge off? No, he will not. Wow. Not a bad turn of events if you're Denava Brigada. Now, they did commit the Soul Stealer buyback, which is quite big considering how it seems like this hero needs a substantial gold lead over the carry counterparts on the other team in order to really shine, but he definitely did get some value out of it. But the map control just feels like it's all Busk no GG at the moment. And, you know, with Valkyrie, Electrician, and Midas being as good of farmers that they are, it just feels like they're able to just constantly... Oh, Electrician caught over here in the bottom lane with no assistance, with 0 mana. This is a big, big kill for Denava Brigada. Excellent pickoff. And now they've got to do something with this. He's dead for 70 seconds. I want to see... What? Push the tier 1, the tier 2 tower bot? Maybe go for Kongor on your side of the map? It's got to be something. We have to take a major objective here if we are the Legion. There's just no time to waste against the heroes that you have over there on the Hellborn. And now that Midas actually has completed his Codex 5, you know, offering that 900 damage burst potential, you know, after his Spell Shards 3. Really curious to see what item he's going to go for to begin rounding out his build. I still say Blink. I don't know how you guys feel, but you know, if you've got this much burst damage, you got to make sure that you're always in range to use it. That's just me, though. I mean, he's already been pretty fantastic at making sure his combos connect and everything, but Blink just makes it that much easier. Plus, you know, the additional escape ability needs to be considered as well. But Magnus, aggressively positioned behind 5 heroes here in the bottom lane, actually might run into trouble. What you got? What are you up to? Are you gonna get got? Are you gonna get caught? He is gonna get caught. Magnus is going to get caught by the 5 heroes here. It gets picked off very quickly. Very surprised I didn't see a steam bath into a lava surge over the cliff or blink or something. Not really sure. I think all of that was off cooldown. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Lodestone activates the Shadow Storm, was thinking about going on Midas, but gets spotted out by this Moira illusion. But the blink finally comes out onto Prisoner. There's the portal key pickup on Midas. Tablet picked up by Moira. Bound Eye is on Glacius. Saw that but didn't mention it. Got nice little barrier idol picked up. Uh-oh, Riftwalker getting gone on by Electrician and Moira. Looks like he's dead to rights here. So look at this. I mean, Busk no GG. They have the golden XP advantage at this point. 3k gold lead, 7k gold experience advantage. Very, very nicely done. They have come back from a losing position. Pretty and commanding force here in game 2. And now it feels like it's their game to lose. I mean, here we go. So 4,200 gold committed by Soul Stealer. Actually sells the staff. Not sure if that's the item he wants to. I mean, it feels like he needs to go a more auto attack build at this point. It just feels like, there you go. Yep. Null Fireblade on Soul Stealer, deciding to address the Electrician problem a little bit. And I can't disagree, not for a second. There's the Staff of the Master picked up on Lodestone. So actually, they are going the route of foregoing the Staff of the Master pickup on Soul Stealer and having Lodestone pick it up, which Lodestone, this is a pretty new Staff of the Master edition. So you can actually reactivate it 2 seconds after the initial cast. That's what his Shatterstorm Staff of the Master effect is. So it actually makes it a lot easier for him to connect the Shatterstorm combo. And the ability for him to give it, let's say, to Soul Stealer is now on the table. Now, is he going to give it to Soul Stealer? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to be said for a free Glacius staff, for example. But that possibility is there and about 600 gold. So we'll have to wait and see which hero they decide to prioritize that free staff on. If he doesn't go for another item himself. But yeah, I agree a lot with this Nullfire pickup on Soul Stealer. It's going to provide very good source of damage against, I mean, every single hero, but especially Electrician. Moira is actually going to wander behind. What is he doing? This is so bold. Holy crap. He Arcane Vortexes the Glacius. The Eruption is channeled. They're going to find a Glacius kill with a free little Boundai here. But Lodestone is channeling the ulti. He's going to try to go on Valkyrie. Actually not able to connect it. Soul Stealer activates the Shrunken Head and ports out. Now Electrician going deep on Lodestone. In the meantime, Prisoner just gets looked at by Midas and dies from that Codex. And Lodestone is going to end up falling. So they get nothing. Danafa Brigada gets nothing and loses 3. And a Boundai. So if you're Busno GG, you're in a really, really healthy spot to push high ground at this moment. But they're actually porting out. Midas is porting into the bottom lane. I'm going to decide to put a combo out on this wave and just accumulate some more gold. Valkyrie and Magnus here in the bottom lane. Valkyrie has a Geos now, pops it, decides to put in some damage on this tier 3 tower. Does about a quarter of its HP, actually a little bit more, about a third. There's the Valkyrie's Prism. But it has been shown by Midas, who nukes that wave. There is the Nullfire 3 picked up on Soul Stealer. Not exactly sure what item he's going to go for as his potentially 6th item to replace the bottle with. There's a Storm Spirit picked up on Magnus. Love to see it. Shrunken Head has been completed on Electrician. Knew he was going for it earlier, but it's always nice to know that he has it. 3k gold saved up on Riftwalker. Kind of curious what he's going to decide to try and round out his build with. As we, this is 42 minutes into the game. I would say this is officially the late game of the second Han match between these two teams. And there's a double damage Soul Stealer putting in a lot of damage onto this Kongor. Riftwalker is tanking it for him, but Upward Side actually is aware that it's taking place, but Vision is going to get countered, and there is the quick Midas combo into the Codex to take out that Glacius, who was just trying to counter a ward. And Valkyrie, Electrician, and Magnus forcing out the ports into the bottom lane. Moira has her illusion up for just a little bit longer. Ports aggressively into the Legion base, just letting Valkyrie poke at the tower some more. Midas blind port, just decides to throw out the combo. Soul Stealer, not really sure what he's up to here in the Hellborn jungle. He's smoked. Maybe deciding to try and make some sort of counter push. Gets a deep ward down. It's going to be potentially of use later in the game. Valkyrie's Prism comes out. Looks like they are maybe aware that Soul Stealer actually is in the top lane. They definitely, if they're paying attention to what's happening to the creep wave, they definitely see him now. They finish countering the Kong pit here and deciding that they can be the ones to take Kong. Electrician, just a fantastic Kong tank. Crazy freaking Kong tank, honestly. They are going to get that Kongor kill. Their own Kongor respawns in 3 minutes, but they have how many Kongs? they have a 2 Kongor kill advantage at this point, which definitely starts to show up in these later games. You know, especially when you have somebody like, oh, I thought Magnus. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Midas didn't go the 4% damage stacks, considering the fact that he actually went all in with the burst damage with the Codex combo. Most of them picking up the vitality boost, you know, just making their supporting cast so formidable. I mean, look at Moira over here with 1600 HP, right? 1600 HP on a Moira, right? Pretty hard thing to deal with. Like your free kills aren't so free anymore. I mean, Moira honestly never exactly a free kill, especially in the hands of a skilled player. She's always going to be hidden, tucked away somewhere safe while she just spawns the illusion 5,000 yards away from her. But Valkyrie's Prism once again coming out. It's actually a Soul Stealer illusion that's being assaulted by a Moira illusion. And there's the Staff of the Master on Riftwalker, so very interesting decision. And actually we have, as predicted, the Lodestone puts the Staff of the Master on Soul Stealer. Glad I just caught that. But a second Staff of the Master has been created on the team, so Riftwalker now with the Wormhole Staff could potentially shake things up in forms of a team in the form of a team fight inside of their base if things go their way. So that could be a pretty scary thing to go uphill against. Sheepstick, major purchase on Midas, who already has the blink to go with it. So these are some major items making their way into the game. As Valkyrie's actually looks like he's going for a wing bow. He already has the completed Fa bow. Extra 100 attack range. And I'm kind of curious what Electrician's going to be buying. He's got 4.3k gold. I honestly would like to see him hold buyback and just staff one of his teammates. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't mention that. Maybe Staff of the Master actually isn't too useful for any of these heroes. I think it could be pretty cool on Midas, but probably not necessary by any means. So could also be interesting on Magnus, but you know, it's not really that necessary. Magnus is more of just a utility stunner at this point. I don't think they really need his damage. But Midas actually is going to get caught by Riftwalker and Glacius, and Lodestone is going to finish him off with the Shatterstorm. So a big pick-off here in the top lane, but meanwhile, they are snagging the third Kong kill of the game here at the Legion Hellborn Kong Pit. Stacking up those buffs as we get close to 50 minutes here in the second game of this best of 3. Busno GG just slowly accumulating a larger and larger lead. And this lead, I think, is a little bit larger than you might expect, just because of the fact that Soul Stealer, you know, top farmer of the game he is, just kind of weak in comparison to this farmed Valkyrie at this point, and this farmed Electrician. He's got 5k gold. I really got to see what Doze is going to pick up on Electrician here. But that's a very nice objective that DB has taken. And they're actually going to start poking this top tower a little bit, I guess. Nope, not really. Deciding that they don't want to risk it. Electrician, he's got 5,400 gold. Like, buy something, Doze. Buy something, please. Jadespire is going to be picked up by Riftwalker this game, so he is deciding to go for the long-range ulti now that he especially has the pullback potential of the wormhole. And there's the second sheepstick for Busno GG in the hands of Electrician, so just making him even harder to bring down in a larger mana pool with crazy regen at this point. That is a lot of mana on Electrician. A lot of utility as well. There's the Dancing Blade picked up by Valkyrie. She's got the Wingbow coming out. So she's a heavy hitter at this point. Attacks much faster than Soulstealer. I believe, actually, their attack speed is about even. No, she attacks much faster. Four heroes collecting in front of the tier 3 mid tower. There's the Dancing Blade picked up on Soulstealer. So Soulstealer actually dealing a lot of auto attack damage here. Very respectable. Now actually sells the Dancing Blade. Interesting. I think he sees the Wingbow on Valkyrie and probably decides that he needs to go Savage Mace at this point. That's kind of what I'm guessing. Honestly, if you're Soulstealer at this point, I think you have to right click. No, he decides to pick up a Null Stone. Interesting. So doesn't want to get Blink Sheeped by Midas, for example, but still, I mean, honestly, if we go through one of these longer duration team fights, I mean, Busk no GG has the advantage all the way. I don't see how they could lose if the first cycle of abilities don't actually take them out, because they're going to have follow-up sheep sticks. They're going to have sustained damage from Electrician and Valkyrie. I mean, we'll see exactly how it plays out, but with that Nullstone purchase, that tells me that Soulstealer kind of is looking to front load all of his damage with a well-placed okay, it's already started in the bottom lane actually, as the tier 3 tower is melting and a quick pickoff comes out onto Prisoner and Lodestone gets sheeped. Lodestone is going to fall as well. Second death on the side of the Legion. He actually is going to respawn with a buyback, but here's the wormhole dragging him back to the tier 4s now, but all he really caught was illusions. Electrician is not necessarily the target that you want to go on. He is so freaking tanky as Glacius gets picked off by the Midas while the team was actually finishing off the barracks, and now the Moira illusion's going in on the Riftwalker. But all of that pressure onto Electrician under tier 4s, and this dude still lives. Just goes to show you how crazy this freaking hero is with the Staff of the Master. And now there's the two-man stun. Soulstealer actually is going to get dropped down very quickly. Has the buyback available. Opting not to use it. Maybe feeling like the game is already done. Or just no team support means buyback is not really necessary, but actually sold his Shrunken Head. Interesting. So it looks like he sold his Shrunken Head because it was already used and decided that he needed to have buyback ready, but it's the second set of Raxus falling to Busk no GG, and so now they're 2 Raxus up, almost 30k gold up, and they just have all of the sustained carry potential at this point in the game. 3-man Lava Surge is going to secure this last team engagement, and that basically seems like it's all she wrote. Yep. Puppet Soul agrees, calls the GG. The wormhole pulls them into the well of an Electrician. You can see how long he's able to last against the Wellstream auto attacks. Still not able to be brought down in a timely. I mean, he does fall, but good grief. The stream of fireballs from the well is what it took. I'm actually curious who he gave his Staff of the Master, as I see he has a legacy completed. He actually hasn't given it to anybody because he is dead at the moment. And GGs have been called, but the game has not been CC'd. There's the CC vote. It is going to go to Busk no GG, taking out Denava Brigada in the winners bracket finals in a 2-0 fashion, going to be securing their slot into the grand finals of cycle number 4, guys.